Hey there everyone, this is Joe in general, your resident reason and evidence enthusiast. It's your weekly Bitcoin price analysis update. It's Friday the 25th of August 2017. If you want to skip ahead at any time, use the time codes. They'll be provided in the info section and as part of the pinned comment. Now, a couple of things quickly, or maybe one thing quickly. I think I'm entitling this video The Big 5,000. Why? Two reasons. One, obviously because of where I think the price is going next, maybe a small retracement from there, or maybe a psychological level of 5,000. That's probably going to be a slight area of resistance, possibly. But second, the main reason is because in the last 7 days, since doing this video right here, during this video here, I had 4,678 subscribers, and in the last 7 days, this has had 6,000 views. And I've increased my subscribers by 463. So a total now of 5,141. So I have broken that 5,000 barrier. That's why I'm calling it the Big 5,000. Wanted to say a quick thank you to all of the newbies that have come on board, all 463 of you. And thank you to my previous subscribers for all your support, getting up to 5,000 and punching through that. I think it will be much quicker on to 10,000 than it took me to get to 5,000. That was a very long time for my channel. But thank you to all those, and please check out my other videos, my shooting competition videos, my sort of other kind of politic-y kind of stuff, many other things on my channel. But I am doing a lot of crypto at the moment, and that's kind of is what is growing my channel quite a lot right now. If you haven't yet checked it out, do check out Swarm Fund ICO, the long video that I did on the upcoming Swarm Fund ICO. That's on the 7th of September, so still plenty of time to check out that video. Okay, on to the analysis. I'm going to keep it pretty brief today. I'm going to talk about that pattern recognition that I talked about last week, do a quick little bit of Fibonacci to do with the $5,000 mark, and that's pretty much it. I'm going to let you go as quickly as humanly possible. So this is where we were last week. And we were talking about this particular pattern here. So we came up to this pattern here, this price here of $4,400. Now that's US dollars. It's the Bitstamp exchange. Always keep that in mind. And we're using the BitcoinWisdom.com website. Came up to 4,400. Had a retracement back down. Then we quickly came back up, broke that all-time high of 4,400 to make a new all-time high of 4,480. Now that's just a smidge above 4,400 right there. But we did break down, back down through that 4,400 mark, and we were sort of hovering underneath that mark right there. And I said, that's an interesting pattern. Have you noticed that any time in recent history? And we did, or I did, and I'm sure some of you did too. So if we go back, and this is what we were talking about. Let me go back right about, yeah, that'll do-ish. Sure. All right, so this is the similar pattern where we came up to 2760. We had a retracement. We came back up, broke through 2760, so we made a new all-time high, but that new all-time high was only a smidge above the previous all-time high. And then we did break down back through 2760, and then from there we saw a little bit of consolidation, but we did see another large dip, and it actually dipped below the previous dip right here, only a little bit below in this particular case. And so I was asking the question, hey, will we potentially see that happen again? It wasn't, 100% guaranteed, but I think I said, keep it in the back of your mind that this could be the same pattern that's back here that plays out here. So let's have a look where we've come to, and I'm sure you guys are already keeping on top of the price, but here we are right here. Here's that 4,480, which is a smidge above 4,400. And as you can see, we did break down. This is where we were last time, right about here, and we have had that larger retracement. In fact, a much larger retracement back underneath this previous point right there. And we did bottom out at 3,600. Now, interestingly, we've also followed the same pattern from there. So if I punch out back out to the daily time frame, this is back with the 2760 and the 2980 mark, and coming off that low that we had a very quick price rise back up to the old high, a bit of a consolidation back down, but then we busted through the old high of 2980 to make brand new highs, and that's what got us to the 4480. So when we punch back in, let me get a little bit more zoomier in there. Zoomier, that's a word. So we've seen the exact same pattern continue from there. We came all the way down, a much larger retracement, as I said, but a very quick rise back up. Not as quick, but we're almost back up to the previous all-time high, almost breaking through 4400 and almost breaking through 4480. So could we see now that similar pattern occur again, where we have that quick rise up, maybe a bit of a consolidation either through price or through time, and then another quick rise up? That could certainly happen. Of course, not 100% guaranteed, but it certainly could. So that's the pattern recognition side of things. Let's talk about that $5,000 mark. It's a big psychological value, and let's also do some Fibonacci analysis. Last week's video, I talked about the difference between exponential Fibonacci analysis and linear Fibonacci analysis, and I did say I'm now going to continue to use both instead of just exponential Fibonacci. I was doing a bit of a trial on exponential Fibonacci, but look, just check out this video right here, 5,000, 7,000, 10,000, and yeah, you'll see what's going on. But let's do that right now really quickly. Let me punch out maybe right there. So we're just going to take the exponential, sorry, not the linear Fibonacci calculation, and we'll do the exponential in a second. So we'll take it from the high of 4480, and we'll drag it down to the low, the recent low of 3600, and see what price targets to the upside that we have. And if I punch in, let me do that right there. What you'll notice is right here, the 1.618, or they, on the bitcoinwisdom.com website, it's they mark it as 161.8, or you can call it 1.618, it's up to you. But the 161.8% mark, Fibonacci level from the high of 4480 and the low of 3600 is 5,023 right here. Well, that's pretty darn close to that $5,000 psychological value. So based on linear Fibonacci calculation, this next mark here, once we bust up through the all-time high, and what we could see is, you know, we could come up to the all-time high here, 4480, and then come back down maybe to the 78.6 level, maybe even consolidate back down to the 61.8. That's a pretty key Fibonacci level before we eventually break through 4480. But the next quite likely point is coming up close to this 161.8 level of 5,023. We can comfortably call that the 5,000 mark because it's a very psychological value as well. So we could come up to there and see maybe a slight price retracement from there. Possibly it might just bust straight through to even higher prices, but you know, based on that linear Fibonacci calculation, this could be a little mark, a slight mark of resistance. If I pop out maybe to the 3-day time frame, I know it's getting, again, it's getting very liney, but we've got this, we've talked about this very long-term, these trend channels right here. So now this is the bottom end, long-term bottom end of the trend channel, and this is the higher end, the upper end of the trend channel, the upper trend channel right here. What we could potentially see, if this does play out where we just come up to the $5,000 psychological value, what you might see is that it comes up to about that $5,000 mark right there, and maybe it consolidates back down, and maybe this becomes the bottom end of the trend channel now. Now that maybe instead of being the top, becomes the bottom. So it could retrace back down to this trend line right here. Let's say if it did it in the next day, next few days, you might see it come up to about 5,000, and it could settle around about maybe your $4,800 level mark. That's quite possible, but you know, obviously not guaranteed. Could certainly just bust straight through 5,000, as I said. Now that's based, as I said, that's the linear Fibonacci calculation. Let's quickly do the exponential Fibonacci calculation, and I've done that for you already. This is the exponential Fibonacci calculator I have. It's available for download for free. I will put a link to that in the pinned comment of the YouTube page. And it's all automated, right? So you just pop in the high here, 4480. I've already done it anyway. And you just pop in that 3600, and everything else is calculated for you. And you have an up target here, the 1.618 Fibonacci level of 5,128. So you can see the differences there between linear and exponential Fibonacci. But I'm treating these both like, both of these are very much psychologically driven. You know, they're self-fulfilling prophecies. So as I was talking about in the previous, in last week's video, if most people are using linear Fibonacci because they're using websites such as bitcoinwisdom.com and other charting websites which uses, and most of them do use the linear Fibonacci, and if they see the 1.618 level here of 5,023, well, it might become a self-fulfilling prophecy, and they make trades accordingly. They put sell orders around about this price. So it's the fact that they believe the price will go there, which makes the price go there, if that makes sense. But if some people are using exponential Fibonacci, or if enough are, they may put sell orders here at 5,128. But I think comfortably we can still call that kind of, you know, your $5,000 psychological value. But if it does come up, it's only a smidge above this line here because we are using the logarithmic chart. So I think that's pretty much it for this video. So $5,000 psychological value could come back to this long-term trend line here. Again, if it comes back in, if it retraces in the next few days, might be around about the $4,800 level mark. That's only possible. It's not financial advice, of course. Do your own research. We could certainly bust through to the next values. And I did talk about those next upward targets. $7,000 and of course $10,000. Check out this video right here, the one from August the 18th, 5,000, 7,000, 10,000. Check out that one to find out more about my upward targets for a little bit further down the track. There's one mistake I did make last week in this video, and one of my subscribers did kindly point that out. I had talked about Cliff High's Webbot, and I had said that he'd called for a price of 4,888. Pardon me. That was incorrect. Pardon me. That was incorrect. A subscriber, I've forgotten their name, but thank you for letting me know. It was like, if you go back and look at the report, it wasn't 4,888. Cliff has been talking about 6,888. And then I went back to the report and it was saying, you know, 6,800. And I think he mentioned on someone else's podcast, someone else's YouTube video, 6,888. So it wasn't 4,888, it was 6,888, but that does coincide anyway, close enough to that $7,000 mark, which was a Fibonacci, pretty close Fibonacci level. So my apologies for that. Not 4,888, 6,888 is what Cliff High did mention. Okay, gang, I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to go and play and set up my new PS4 that I just bought. I got 3 new games: Uncharted, Ghost Recon, and the one that just came out, which is Uncharted: The Lost Legacy. Yeah, I know I'm late to the party with the whole PS4 thing, but hey, you know, I've been busy, okay? But I'm going to go do that now. That's my reward for doing this video. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. More videos to come. I'm going to do a mega mini crypto analysis on a few other altcoins within the next week. You'll get another one of those in the next week. Plus, I think I'm going to do a review of a mobile app which is used to track your crypto portfolio as such. I'll do a video on that too, I think, maybe this week, and plenty more to come. Once again, thanks to my new subscribers, over the 5,000 mark now, and you know, many more to come, hopefully. Thanks, gang. Stay safe, stay informed. Speak soon.